Hello, welcome to the Pint Patter podcast, where a patter is pish, but our pints aren't. To introduce ourselves, I'm Caden, and I'm joined by my co-host, Dino.
Hi, hello. Welcome. It's episode 19 now. Episode 19. One away from a special episode.
Yes.
We kind of delayed recording this episode, actually, because I was slightly ill.
Yes.
COVID-free, but slightly ill.
Yes.
But anyway, we're finally getting around to it.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll be out on the 19th for the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But today, our main topic being underrated things.
Okay.
Do you want to kick us off?
I shall, yes. So, thinking about underrated things, it could literally be simple things that you just don't appreciate enough. So I think, for me, an underrated thing that a lot of people probably do like and enjoy but don't really think about is like putting your hand through newly washed and dried hair. You got like nice soft and like wavy feeling to it, and it's like, oh, it's so soft and clean. It's so satisfying, but it's so brief. You do it and you forget about it like 5 minutes after. So it's not something like you like fixate on really. So I think that's one of the best underrated things. Is just a simple feeling of clean hair. So
Exactly, I mean.
yeah, I think it's just generally like just being clean as well, I suppose.
Cleanliness.
Just cleanliness after
One of my points is actually cleanliness as well.
Oh.
Yeah. With having long hair as well, like since it's been growing, some of the shit I use is like banana stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember the name of the brand. I just whack it on and I'm golden. You
know. I use mango.
Ah, nice. After that, once you put that hand through,
yeah,
it do be good.
It do be.
Nice be good.
Like when you're underwater as well, and you put your hand through your hair, it sort of like has that similar effect of like weightlessness. But what about an example from yourself?
I reckon it's really underrated.
What?
And it's something that's been really popular in the past, and it's kind of quieting down a lot over the years. It's just Guitar Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Popular series from way back when. I can't even mind when they made the first one, early 2000s anyway. I mind I played 3 the most. That was the GOAT game. But a lot of people will rate them fairly highly in terms of nostalgia and like how good they were at the time. But I think they're underrated because of how much they actually like influenced a lot of music and people.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking a hot take that I say a hot take, but just a thought I've had for a while is I feel like a lot of metal stuff and rock wouldn't be as popular without Guitar Hero's influence on a lot of kids and whatnot, you know. But even now, after Guitar Hero's finished, it's been cancelled for ages. They haven't made one in a long time. There's still the community on stream. On Twitch. There's quite a lot of people that'll always jump on, and they've got Clone Hero that they play. So there's like absolutely any song you want, people will make a chart for it and put it up. And so you see some of the most ridiculous stuff, but it's just really good in terms of just for skills, for listening to music, blah blah blah, all that stuff. I just feel like it's quite underrated for how good it is, you know.
Yeah. Sort of.
I feel like that's.
I feel like a staple song for Guitar Hero for me was the one they always I've forgotten the name of it, but the one they always use in the Supernatural.
Carry On.
Yes, Carry On My Wayward Son. Yes. That's like whenever I think of Guitar Hero, I think of that song. That's like where I first heard that song. And I know the South Park. One of my favorite South Park episodes is the Guitar Hero episode, where Stan and Kyle are like professional Guitar Hero players, and they go to like gigs and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like instead of actually playing instruments, they go to like pubs and bars and shit, and they play Guitar Hero for an audience. Guitar Hero, I can see why.
It really did influence a lot of people. Even I seen recently, Post Malone said that he learned to play guitar through Guitar Hero.
Oh my!
That's pretty crazy. Like considering how big he is now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know if you've seen the tweet that was going about of the guy, because of the way the new fucking Twitch DMCA rules are. He was memeing, and he had this audio turned off on Guitar Hero.
Oh my
god! He was just going during one of the solos. I think it was for fucking Cult Personality. He was just going.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That heavily reminds me of. I sent it to you as well as Germa 985 doing that on stream. He was watching the Game Awards, and the Mario Odyssey music I think came up, or is it the Persona 5 music came up, and they're doing like an orchestra of it. So to stop the DMCA from happening, or like the algorithm from detecting it, he's like, "Oh guys, I'll interrupt it." And he's randomly like, then he sampled his like own voices going for the song to like stop the algorithm from detecting it. You just have like a wee soundboard of noises he made.
Crazy. Some good stuff though.
Yeah.
What other underrated stuff you got? What
so,
you're thinking?
I know there's a lot of people out there that the books aren't really their thing, but they'll always have that one book where they might coincidentally pick up and decide to read, and they won't read another book really after that. So I think the general idea of reading a new book that you as a person can enjoy is an underrated thing, and I don't hear much about. And I know it happens because I know people, but I just never really hear about it. It's just reading a new book. Whether it is like you're a book person or not, just picking up that new book and you're actually managing to read it and enjoy it is a good thing. Whether it's a comic book or like a novel or like a general like study book, just learning this information, reading and like processing it is, I always think, is a good thing, and I don't hear a lot of it nowadays, at least, unless it's in the form of Twitter. Because I know a few people who like reading, but they don't read often. Like I used to read a lot, and so that's why I get excited now when I do find a book that I want to read. I think it's just really underrated. I don't really think of.
I'm not one for reading too much books. I have in the past. Like there's been the odd few books that I've thought that's a banger. But I'm not one to read too much. I've read a couple of biographies as well recently, but I do get what you mean when you book.
Mm-hmm.
Like see when you first start getting into it and you just get hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Respect.
Yeah, because it requires all your focus on it. Otherwise, you're not going to understand what you're reading. It's not like watching something and like you're entertained by the visual aid or a sound aid. But yeah, that's my second. What's yourself?
Decent. I suppose another one of mine, and shout out to man like Butch for this one, because I reckon I probably wouldn't be like this. I wouldn't want to do this if it hadn't been for him. And yeah, an underrated thing I reckon is trying local food places and like drink places. Because normally I'm quite a fussy person, and I like just going for my comfort order for most things.
Mm-hmm.
So if I am eating out, then I'll most likely just go to a fast food place or whatever, and just grab what I would normally get. And but yeah, he ended up showing me um the local coffee place as well, Milk Bar.
Oh, aye.
Since I've been there, I haven't been to Starbucks or Costas.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't bother. Like they're not bad, but they don't need any support at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll go to the Milk Bar, and they do really really good coffee there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, good coffee. They even do ice cream as well, which is banging.
I think I got
You can
ice cream
get
from
that.
there before or sampled it. It was quite
You
good.
can get that into a milkshake. Oof.
Oh, yeah.
But that's just one example of the coffee place. But been a couple times where gone into um, certain like food places, and I've just been impressed with what I've been given. I've had a look at the menus and like, oh, a couple of things quite interesting. I'll try them, give them a bash, and they're really good. You know, it's different. It's easy to go and to like Spoons and that,
Mm-hmm.
and get food there. Spoons is good.
I don't
You know
think
what
I've
you're getting.
ever ordered food at Spins now that I think about it.
No,
No.
no, definitely try it at some point.
Mostly because I'm already
Chicken
getting
wings.
enough calories at drinking.
Aye, when you're there, you're just there to drink.
Yeah.
But it's just
But food wise, I think I've had food like at the Innis. Had some good food there.
yeah.
Can't mind ever. I've been to like a few places like for food on the off chance. Aye, so it's always good supporting your local businesses, especially if you enjoy the food.
Aye, indeed. Don't know if you've ever had any of those adverts pop up. I get them all the time on YouTube. It's ones for Google Maps, I think.
Mm.
It's random people or like AJ. I think AJ is one of the guys that they use in one of the adverts,
Well, Anthony
and they're just
Joshua.
like, yeah, and they're like, oh, support your local uh, food place, and
Yeah,
it's because it pops up in Google Maps, all these spots that you
yeah,
can go, and yeah, you never know, like if you're gonna find your new favorite thing from one of these places.
yeah. Like
I mind,
I liked going
what was
to
it?
Mail's Gelateria before it got like
Mm,
huge, and I'd go there like frequently because they had my like favorite coffee ice cream and shit,
yeah.
cappuccino. So I supported them before they started booming and shit.
Definitely some good shit about it.
Hmm.
Definitely some good shit about it.
Oh yeah. Just if you've got the money. I'm fussy when it
Aye.
comes to spending money, but when I finally get like my proper job and shit, I would be keen to go about supporting more local businesses.
Mm-hmm.
But that's good. It's a good
Mm,
example.
what else you get?
Well, my third one, looking at it now, it could just be any part of your body, but like I think specifically cracking your knuckles is an underrated thing because I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's bad for you and that, but it's like so far there's not enough sufficient proof for that to be the case. And two, it's just so satisfying to do. Just fucking, just fucking, oh, just, just my wee pinky, my other pinky. That's so nice.
Oh,
And I know there's a lot of people that get freaked out by it, but like, just like, see
yeah,
when you're
some
like
people do.
stretching even. So it doesn't even have to be knuckles. You stretch and you hear a click, and you're like, oh, when you're like waking up. Whenever I like get up and stand, my knees click, and I think I have like a part of my foot that will always click no matter what. So like I don't know what's
Mm,
going on there because the whole thing with the clicking and the snapping is that there's these wee bubbles in your joints and in between certain areas
mm,
that will pop. Hence the cracking noise it makes. So whenever you crack your fingers, that's why you can't do it multiple times because it's a bit like bubble wrap. It's like once you popped it, it's gone. But it will eventually come back because it will build up again. But just hearing that noise and sometimes you feel better as well. So like if you've been sitting on a chair all day and you stretch and everything cracks and you feel a bit better, it's just so nice.
it is. I've been. I would say I wouldn't really say like quite bad. Just every now and again, I will end up cracking my knuckles. And quite often, I mind there was many times where I would go for the big 10, try and crack every finger and thumb in just the one go. See if I could get them all.
So, like, what
Sometimes
when
I'd
you
get
weave
like
your fingers
8 or
together?
7. Hmm.
When you weave your fingers together?
Nah, just like going by them one by one, but trying to get all 10.
You want to consistently get all 10 rather than do it all at the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
time. I see what you mean. Because I know there's the people that weave their hands together and do that, and I can't do that because I think it's just the way I'm double jointed in my fingers and
Oh,
shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you mean now. I've been able to do that.
I used to, like, I think when I was back in school and early years of college, I would constantly snap my neck, and it got to a point where I would just look up and my neck would snap. But I can't even do that anymore, so.
Yeah.
Snapped out.
Oh.
I feel like that's underappreciated. It's not really got much of a function to it, apart from sometimes it makes you feel good after stretching. Really.
Aye, I will do.
I know my mom gets freaked out by it. She's like, "No, don't do that in front of me! Stop it!" But yeah, that's my third one.
Decent. I'm on board with that. I suppose I should mention the other cleansing one that I briefly mentioned earlier. And it's just cleaning your ears with Q-tips. I find is so underrated. Oh,
I don't think I've actually done it with a Q-tip.
No.
No.
It's satisfying. What a feeling. Just because generally I'm quite bad for like build up of earwax.
Oh man, don't even get me started.
Using headsets a lot, headphones, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
It builds up a lot, and it's
Swimming's
if you
quite good
don't,
for that.
I will be. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, just if you leave it too long, it gets really really dark, and it's just
It's bad.
builds up. That's not good. Because if you leave it too long and you get to a point, you put headphones in, and you pull it out, and there's like a wee bit on the headphone. You're like, you've got to clean it. But when you actually get that Q-tip in, you get a good cleanse. Get right round.
Yeah.
Get right in, and then once you're done, it's just bliss, absolute bliss, mate.
Oh.
Can't pick it up anymore.
I suppose I'm like in the opposite boat because not cringy, but like I think I cringe at sort of like the same sort of cringe you feel whenever like you touch a material you don't like. It's the same whenever somebody is in my ear or I've got my finger in my ear trying to do something. I just don't like anything going in my ears. No. But it's probably a good thing I do swim because it does really clean up my ears. I think I can't even remember the last time when I was at the gym that I had earwax on my earphones.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got very clean ears just now. And I think one of my stories from when I was younger, when I was swimming at the Aquadome in the comp pools or the competitive pools, I came out one day and my mom saw something in my ear, and it was the strangest thing. It was like a compacted ball of like extremely hard, like wax, and when she got it out, just a bit of water just started flooding out my ear, and it was just blocking stuff, and I didn't even hear any differently. It was like it was weird because my hearing wasn't affected by it at all. I didn't feel any different after it came out. It was just confusing, really confusing. This wee marble shaped ball of wax that was really hard. And wax, and it's always nice having a clean ear. That's what I can really screw with. Being cleanly. Yeah,
Being cleansed.
Cleansed. Like Danny DeVito from Always Sunny in that episode where they all get the. You gotta use the gel. The rubbing gel. Yeah.
Gotta be pure, Charlie.
shaved himself. Well.
No, I was no fucking nothing.
Well, my last one is one that's personally underrated to me as like a whole population, because I know a lot of people enjoy it as well. But I'd love to do it every weekend. Is just sitting around a campfire, just looking at it, or being around people and speaking to them. Just being around a campfire, a campsite. Just there's something about it. Something like chill about it, but especially just looking at a fire as well while you're at a campfire and seeing it like flurry and flames and shit, and it's sparking in front of you, and then you can watch it die or like reimburse itself with life again with when you put more wood on. It's really nice underrated moment. I feel that's not talked about a lot. Because I know camping, a lot of people like camping. They talk about camping, but I feel like sitting around a campfire just looking at it, it's underrated.
Defo. Campfires are banging.
Not when you're on it. Then it's lit.
Tell you what's bad about the campfire is when you're at that certain spot where the smoke's just blowing straight in your face.
Yeah.
Gotta move.
You know what you're camping with the wrong people when they've got a campfire underneath a gazebo.
Fucking hell. Waiting for a disaster.
Aye. Well, how about your last one?
My last one. It's just a simple one, I think. Water. Said that very Indonesian. Water.
Water bottle.
Water.
I like I would like some water, please. Water, as an American would say. Water. Pronounce with an O.
I just reckon that's very underrated from many people, and I wanted to include it in my list because I used to underrate it myself.
Mm-hmm.
For the longest time, I was always just drinking fizzy drinks, when I was a lot younger, and I didn't particularly like water because it's
like bland.
Tasted of nothing. That's what it is. It's just nothing. I didn't appreciate water. I didn't enjoy it. But as I got older, and
calories start mattering.
Calories start mattering and everything. I'm like, maybe I should look after myself. Maybe I should get some water in me. So, but once you get used to it, man, it's so good.
Oh, just like water.
A nice cold bit of water.
Especially on a hot day.
Aye.
Mate, they used to have to stop me from getting up from my table at fucking primary school to get water. I drank so much water. I fucking love water. Cold water. Fill up my water bottle and I tank it in like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
right,
mate. Water is amazing.
Do be good. Do be good.
Do be good.
See, going to the gym as well. I think it's nice drinking water while you're exercising.
I always have trouble trying to drink while exercising. Like,
do you?
After doing like a rep, I can drink on like weightlifting, but see when I'm on one of the machines, I'm picking up the water and I'm trying to drink it, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking spray this in my face or something. I feel uncomfortable. I wait until I'm done like my cardio and shit. I also noticed when I go to drink water, when I was on like the cycling machines, I start slowing down because I start focusing on the water.
Aye. I get like that if I go check my phone or that for a notification. I was like, no, speed up.
Speed up.
Aye. Big up water.
Okay,
drink
more fucking water,
homies.
you plebs.
Hydrate my homies.
That was very contrasting conveying of drinking water there. Drink up my homies versus my fucking drink, you plebs. I think there's a page out there that, and there's also a bot on Twitter that will constantly remind you to hydrate every day because it's good for you. It's wholesome.
It's also underrated because of how much it is good for you.
Oh yeah. Even if you've eaten like too much salty food, it's really good for thinking it out for the next day. Flushing it out. But aye. So your last one for the main
Alas,
topic?
we have finished the main topic.
Okay.
That brings us on to the general talk. A bit of news. A lot's happened. We're mostly going to cover a shit ton of announcements and whatnot, and some of the Game Awards stuff. And
Yes.
I suppose now's a good time for me to crack open my tinny. What do you think?
I thought you normally did it mid-episode.
Just normally. Anyway, what should we cover first?
Cover the Game Awards first.
Game Awards.
Gloss over it.
Well, I'll try and get through these kind of quick because there's quite a lot of different awards that were given out. But the main one, which is the Game of the Year, out of all the nominees of Animal Crossing, Doom Eternal, Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and Final Fantasy, the fucking, was it 6 remake?
I think so.
7? Sorry.
I'm not too sure.
But out of that list, it was The Last of Us that came away with a dub.
Much to many's disappointment.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, including myself, were hoping for a Ghost of Tsushima win.
Yeah.
It's so deserved. I don't think I heard a single bad thing about Ghost.
Yeah. That's the thing though, the fan votes were like 10%, I think, of the overall vote.
Aye.
So it's completely up to the board that were on the committee or whatnot.
Sort of seemed like it was going to win the Game Awards before it even came out. It's just one of those titles.
Yeah.
Because it was so hyped. But anyway, that one Game of the Year. Bit of questioning, but anyway. Best Game Direction. Last of Us picked that up as well over pretty much the same games, apart from instead of Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing, it's Half-Life Alyx. Best Narrative, also picked up by Last of Us Part 2.
Sensing a theme here.
Yeah, it won, I think, 6 awards in total. Took away 6. Best Art Direction, though, that went to Ghost of Tsushima. Big up Sucker Punch. Quality game. If anyone hasn't played it, fucking chef's kiss. Best Score and Music. I was quite surprised by this. Final Fantasy came away with that. I was hoping for Doom.
Oh, I haven't heard of any of the new Doom music.
No.
If it's anything to go off from like the OG Doom music, then it should be good.
Best Audio Design. Last of Us came away with that. Best Performance was Laura Bailey as Abby in Last of Us.
Aye.
What else? Games for Impact. Tell Me Why won that. Don't even know what that is. Oh wait, no, I do. I think I've briefly seen it.
Tell me why.
Best ongoing game between No Man's Sky, Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Warzone, and Fortnite. For you, that's definitely Apex. It wasn't Fortnite, actually. It was No Man's Sky.
Oh my.
That's definitely had a huge resurrection.
Yeah, cause, like, it released in 2017, and there was a bunch of like criticisms about it, and then what was it, like 2 years later it came out with like a new update for like online play and shit.
Best indie game, it went to Hades.
And
that was over Splunky 2, Fall Guys, Carry On.
I heard a lot of people were saying that Hades should have been winning like pretty much all the awards.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Ooh. Wow. Best mobile game went to Among Us.
Okay, yeah. That's a good game.
Big up Among Us. That beat Call of Duty Mobile. and Genshin Impact, and 2 others. Best community support went to Fall Guys.
Yeah.
Which I reckon that's fairly.
That's fairly
decent.
assessed, yeah. Not that I'm playing anymore.
They did try and like eradicate a shit ton of fucking hackers.
Oh yeah.
No, new season out, but best VR/AR game went to Half-Life Alyx.
That game was phenomenal. I was watching a playthrough of that. That game was really good. Because like for sound design, they didn't like change most of the sounds. They kept like most like the Half-Life 2 sounds, like the healing sound and the all the like gun sounds and shit.
Innovation and accessibility went to Last of Us. Best action went to Hades. Best action/adventure went to Last of Us. Best role playing went to Final Fantasy. Best fighting went to Mortal Kombat 11. Best family went to Animal Crossing. That was pretty huge, wasn't it?
It was really huge. It came out just around like the creep of COVID lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So it was massive for like helping relief and like stress and shit like that. Same with Disney Plus.
Weren't Switches sold out for like quite a large period at the start of lockdown?
I have not a clue.
Pretty sure there were, because tons of people were trying to grab it to get Animal Crossing. So makes sense. That's best family.
Yeah.
Best sim/strategy, Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Hadn't heard that.
Yeah. Best sports/racing went to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, a remaster.
Remaster.
I wonder how many people were angry. How many people who were angry making the like newer games and that remaster beat them?
Yeah, a lot of people are finding that quite unfair, because the next one I'm going to mention, best multiplayer, went to Among Us, and like some people are kind of hating that just because the game came out 2017 or 18.
18, yeah. Like,
18.
It's not that it's bad. It's the fact that it's not the time. It's the time frame that matters.
Yeah. I feel like in some situations, like having a like year, in terms of like when it came out, that has to be that year. I can get that. But yeah, Among Us wasn't popular at all beforehand, so kind of does deserve it for what it's done, I guess.
I suppose.
Best debut game went to Phasmophobia. I've seen that. That's quite funny, quite decent. Definitely seen some good content. Speaking of content, next one is Content Creator of the Year. That went to Valkyrie, who was up against others like Nick Merckx and Tim the Tatman.
Yeah.
Valkyrie won. Damn those simps.
Damn those simps.
She was a good. Does make some good content. She's part of that Among Us gang that constantly uploads.
There's a gang. They like mug people.
Yeah. Aye, that's exactly what they do.
Well, actually, yeah, I suppose if they're playing Among Us, yeah, just stab them in the back.
Most anticipated game, Elden Ring.
Did that even come out?
I don't think it has.
Oh, that's why it's in the category, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brain farted there.
And then player's voice went to Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
So yeah, the players thought Ghost of Tsushima was the game of the year, but well, anyway, that's pretty much all the awards. I think there's a couple more for esports and stuff like that, but that's the main coverage. I mind I seen some of the stuff when it was going on, and they were going through them really quickly. Like, right, here's the award, blah blah blah. We'll announce it. maybe show something really quickly of like an announcement for a game or something like that, and then we'll do another road just quick, just get them going. Because you see some awards and stuff like that, they just take ages. It's like, just get on with it. But should we go into the announcements that sort of came about at the exact same time?
Yeah, it's like you originally thought it was correlated to do with the Game Awards, and I'm like, wait, what? I'm like looking through it
at the show. I'm so bamboozled.
So yeah, Disney just bombarded us like near enough to like 12 o'clock with a bunch of like Marvel stuff and Star Wars stuff. I'll go over like some of the Star Wars stuff. Like I think one of the first things they revealed was a secondary trailer for WandaVision, which I'm really looking forward to, and that is debuting January 15th. So I'm looking forward to that. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier had a trailer and is going to start streaming of March 19th. The trailer for Winter Soldier looked really fucking good. It's like movie quality and probably even better. They're really going all out for these shows.
Yeah.
We see an exclusive clip for Loki, and we see sort of what the premise is, which is going to be cool. It's about
like D.B. Cooper.
Aye, it's going to be about the Loki that got away in Endgame, the one that got away with the Space Stone. Following that is the reveal of What If, which is a bunch of like I'm assuming short episodes that are not short episodes, but a bunch of episodic tales, probably like 40 minutes each, and it's animated. And what it's gonna go over is essentially like what if there was an evil Doctor Strange? What if there was zombies, sort of stuff? Like what if it was Peggy instead of Steve that became the soldier, the super soldier? That sounds interesting. We get news that Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, has finished production. Or has wrapped up. The production has just wrapped up for it. And it will be in theaters July 9th of 2021. There's going to be a Miss Marvel original series. There's a bit of controversy with that, seeing as Miss Marvel isn't going to be played by what her ethnicity is. Same with another character. Brie Larson returns as Carol Danvers in Captain Marvel 2.
Hey.
And sounds like Miss Marvel might be involved with it, and it will be in November 11th, 2022. That's like a pretty much full year away.
Big up years.
One I'm looking forward to, and I really want a movie of, but tough shit to me is Hawkeye, and it will involve Hawkeye's getting a TV show and teaming up with another Archer of Kate Bishop. We're getting a She-Hulk TV show, which I'm quite excited for because I really hope it's just her as a lawyer, and she suddenly transforms to the She-Hulk, and she starts like throughout the series, you like start seeing her like learning to control her powers, and she's accepted as a She-Hulk lawyer as well. So you see her in like a court case as a lawyer for like for the defense or something, and she's just in She-Hulk form. I want to see this. She does it in the comics, and I need to see her as a big green muscly woman like defending some guy in court. I need to see this. Moon Knight is getting a series. He's basically like Marvel's Batman, but a bit more insane. He's quite cool. We're in a Secret Invasion TV series, which follows with Samuel Jackson's going to be in it as Nick Fury, and the Skrulls that were in Captain Marvel, hence Secret Invasion. We're getting an Ironheart TV series, which is a bit controversial because the comic that it's based on with Riri Williams as the character was very much hated. It was a really bad run, apparently. So people are very skeptical if they can make it good. But who knows? We're having Don Cheadle returning as the War Machine to play in Armor Wars, which is sort of like a rehash of the first movie in which Tony like prevents his weapons from becoming like traded off and shit. So this is sort of like following a premise similar to that in which Rhodes has got to like prevent like Stark technology from like being used. We're getting a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special being directed by James Gunn. So it'll probably be like a 40 to 50-minute special of them. So it's like a Christmas thing. We're getting an I Am Groot series.
Oh boy.
Which I don't think it's going to be live action. I think it's going to be animated. But I might be pleasantly surprised. One that I was quite surprised with, and I'm surprised that they're going to go with this sort of plot. I've heard a bit about the character is Christian Bale will be joining the cast of Thor: Love and Thunder as the villain Gore the God Butcher, and it will be in theaters May 6th, 2022. That sounds. Christian Bale's always phenomenal in things he's in. He's a really good actor. We're getting a third Ant-Man film, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, with your man Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, and Michelle Pfeiffer all returning. Cassie Lang and Catherine Newton join the cast. Catherine Newton joins the cast as Cassie Lang, and we have Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror, which is an interesting character you get to see. And I think to wrap it up with, there's another one. There's Marvel Studios Legends. There's a series that'll be kicking off with Wanda Maximoff and Vision, sort of like streaming January 8th. So I think it's like a recap of stuff. That's not too important. But to finish it off, we got a tiny teaser for the new MCU film coming to the MCU, being Fantastic Four. John Watts will be directing it. I think he did some good films, John Watts. What was he responsible for? Was he a Spider-Man movie? Did he make Spider-Man? I think.
Can't mind.
I've heard that name before. I did Homecoming and Far From Home. So he'll be doing Fantastic Four.
Nice.
So we might see Spider-Man in Fantastic Four. Who knows?
Oh my.
That's the list for Marvel stuff. There's quite a few Star Wars stuff that's been announced as well.
Oh, there is as well. Jeez. We got news that the filming for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show starts in January. And I think there was also Hayden Christensen got confirmed for returning in that show. That's extremely exciting. See what they do with that. In terms of other shows, Ahsoka, fucking that is coming. I don't think there's any dates for any of these, is there? It's just announcements that they're going for it. But Ahsoka, obviously based off of Ahsoka Tano, it's going to be based same timeline as Mandalorian.
I think Andor's got a release date of 2022.
Yeah, so there's that as well, Andor. There's the Bad Batch. You were saying that's what was it?
Clone Wars, Clone Wars follow up. So like after, I believe it's after this year's finale, probably after even Anakin goes through the Darth Vader stuff. Not too sure. Not too sure. It's definitely animated. I think there was a trailer for
it. Lando. That's another show that's coming.
With Donald Glover. He's reprising his role.
Aye. Oh, buzzing. Rangers of the New Republic. It's another one. Rogue Squadron. We've got The Acolyte. We've got Visions. We've got A Droid Story. There's so much.
Oh, I'm on the Wikipedia. Visions is an animated series as well.
Oh, is it?
And Rebels is. Rebels is already out.
I was gonna say.
Visions is... Visions is the anime anthology they're doing. They're getting it at some Japanese animators. I don't know if they'll probably dub it as well, so it'll be well animated by the sounds of it. If it's an anthology.
There's a few of these that I'm not really aware of what they're going for. I've just seen the announcements.
Yeah,
but I'm sure I'll end up watching a few of them because Star Wars is just banging.
Aye.
I love Star Wars. Considering like how well Mandalorian is, how good that's doing. Disney Plus is popping. I went seeing seeing the news somewhere that it's like, I think it's the second most popular streaming service now.
Yes.
On like 87 million or something like that. Behind Netflix on like 150. Mad lads.
Yes. Mad ladu.
But aye, definitely good. Gonna up their catalogue.
Oh yeah.
Up the interest.
Talking about like Family Guy and American Dad and shit. Coming to it. Because they bought Fox, didn't they? So Alien and Predator are coming as well. Because it's all R-rated now. So like having an R-rated section, isn't it?
Aye. Yeah, I think that covers us for news, to be honest.
Yes.
Fucking so much.
Now let's make some stuff a bit more gloomy. The next topic of favourite character deaths. So,
yes.
To talk a bit about what we mean by like favourite character deaths, it doesn't necessarily mean like you like the fact they died, or the fact that they were bad and they died. So it doesn't have to be like some sort of just desserts deaths. It could be deaths that mean a lot to the film's story, impacts the tension of the film. It's a good death because it affects those around them. So that's why the character deaths are good. That's why I've got a few of my favourite on here as well. So it just depends on what you view as a good character death.
Yeah. There's a few different things you could include. There's a few that when we did the Just Desserts, there's a few of those that could definitely be involved in this list.
Yeah.
And I reckon the General Shepherd would be top of mind, but since I've already mentioned him, I won't for this list. Will I start or you?
I can start if you want.
Go on.
So I've got Dale's death in the comics. So let me not said that, but you don't know what I'm talking about. You don't have no clue what I'm talking about. So let me just say spoiler warning for deaths. We'll probably be talking about deaths that may have happened recently. But you may not watch the films yet, so spoiler warning. Is The Walking Dead comics. So you've got Dale's death in the comics. Dale was really good in the comics. He didn't last nearly as long as the show. He died like, what was it, season 1 or 2, I think. But in the comics, he lasted quite a while, and he was a good father figure to Andrea and stuff. It's a really good character. But eventually, it got to a point where they met your man's the priest at the church, and they come into contact with the biker gang, and but before that, they get into a walker fight, and Dale is bitten in the shoulder, so there's no coming back from that. You know he's dying.
Yeah. So
you've already got that to deal with. And he doesn't tell anybody. And what happens? He eventually gets kidnapped by the biker gang that the group themselves are pissed off the biker gang. So they steal Dale. We find out he wakes up at like a campfire bit, and both his legs have been like amputated because they're cannibals. We find out the biker gang are cannibals. They're eating his leg. And what I like about this character arc coming to an end is Dale isn't like freaking out or anything. He just starts laughing at the bikers, and they're all like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? Why the fuck are you laughing?" And he's just like, "Oh, it's nothing. It's just that I'm infected, and you're eating infected flesh, and you're probably gonna turn." And they're all like, "What the fuck?" And they start beating him and shit. And then he just keeps on laughing through it, and they eventually drop your man Dale back off at the church because he's worthless. And as he's turning, he's proud to let Andrea kill him if she's up for it, because it's the most fitting way for him to end, and he accepts his death fairly well. He doesn't want to turn. He went out strong. He went out with a bit of charisma, and the fact that he was laughing at these boys eating his infected flesh that they didn't know. I found that really good. I feel that impacted that sort of that arc before they arrive at Andrea. Not Andrea, what's it called? Alexandria. and that's a character death that I thought was really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can understand that. I think was it in the show that character like placement in terms of the getting bit and then eaten, was it not?
Yes, Shane let him get bit and eaten because he was always against like Shane. Shane was like, I think something was happening with Shane where Dale was like, I can't, you're not to be trusted, blah blah blah. But there was another part where Dale was happily accept his death as well because he couldn't live in a world like that anyway. So he wasn't too bad in the show either, just very different.
There's quite a few in Breaking Bad and Walking Dead that you could mention.
Yeah, I was looking for them all. I almost put Abraham just because of how sudden it was.
Yeah.
Because something with Walking Dead is they always Robert Kirkman always says to never focus on a character death. Like if it's a character death in which they're killed by a human, it has to be sudden, and it has to be there and then, and it has to not have any foreshadowing to it. There's no build up; it just happens. Hence why when Abraham's walking across like the train tracks, he's mid speech. Nothing's alluding to him getting shot in the head with an arrow, and it just happens, and he's mid speech, and then he starts garbling and he falls. And then it's just like, what the fuck? But yeah, Dale, I think Dale's my favourite one.
Mm-hmm. I think the first one I'll mention from Breaking Bad is your man Gus Fring.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's such a huge scene, because there's obviously like a lot of stuff being built up between Gus and Walter, because I think he was planning on getting rid of Walter and having another Mandem and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Gus had previous sort of beef almost with what's his name? Gudgy in the wheelchair.
Oh yeah.
I can't mind his name, but I just find that the way that whole scene takes place, because you sort of knew that Gus had to be taken out at some point, in order for Walt to just keep going, and the fact that I'm gonna find out what his name is real quick. The fact that Walt approached him and sort of said, "Look, we can take him out if you're willing to do this." And so they strap the bomb onto his wheelchair. And every time Gus goes to visit him, he doesn't look him in the eyes. He just absolutely stares away. And so this time, I think he went and visited him because he knew Walt had been there. So he was like, "Why are we talking to Walt? What the fuck?" And he's like, I think they were going to kill him. And like, "This is your last chance to look at me." And then he looks up. He gives this really sad face. And you're like, "Oh, look, he's looking." And then all of a sudden his face just starts screwing up with fucking anger and pure hate. And he's like, ding, 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 ding. Gus is like, "What's happening?" It's funny, but it's also really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Gus looks down and then he's like, "Oh!" Massive explosion. And just the scene of with the camera looking, it's like in the hallway and it's looking towards the door. The door's just been fucking blown open and alarms going off, and you just see Gus walking out and like, no way, absolutely no way. And it gets closer to him and it starts panning round the other side of him. Half his face is just fucking melted. It's just gone.
Two-faced it.
Yeah, he just adjusts his tie and then collapses, and that's the end of Gus. I just felt like that was such a mad scene. It was too good not to mention, you know.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's a really impactful scene for a character arc to end.
It's Hector, by the way. That's the.
Yes.
What's his name?
I see.
There's a few others from Breaking Bad I was thinking about.
Yeah.
But that's the one.
Well, my second one is a character death in which I don't feel strongly for the character who's died, but their death impacts the scene they're in so much that it's worth mentioning as a favorite character death, and it's Gamora from Endgame. No, Infinity War. Infinity War, and it's when they go to the planet for the Soul Stone. And Red Skull's explaining to Thanos and Gamora that for you to be able to get this stone at the top of this big mountainside, you have to drop your loved one to their death below. And Gamora's just like, drop your loved one. It's like, there's no loved ones here for him to drop. He doesn't love anyone. And the whole scene pans out to Thanos just being incredibly upset. He's just out of his mind upset. You can see it on his face. It's so well choreographed. And you just see Gamora like going through the confusion, and she's like, "No, no, 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 this can't be. No, you don't love me." Sort of like denial sort of stuff, and eventually just grabs her, starts pulling her along, and just the way he like launched her off, like he doesn't like throw her like off, but he like sort of like sort of throws her off, like he doesn't want to do it. You can tell he doesn't want to do it, and like as he's doing it, you can see afterwards that he's crying and stuff, and it sort of pans out with this whole scene of you see her and it starts zooming out to like a large like podium thing that she's died on, and Thanos is then met into like this sort of like otherworldly place where he meets like a young Gamora and speaks to her, and then he then wakes up with the Soul Stone, and he's just you can tell the grief he's going through because Thanos is a villain. You learn is he's not doing this out of spite. He's not doing this as like an evil thing. He genuinely believes he's doing the right thing.
Yep.
That's why that scene is worse because you know he's going through extreme turmoil to do this.
Sacrifice.
Yeah. That's my second favourite character death.
I do love that scene in that film. I suppose my second one. My second one's from Lucifer. I know you haven't seen the show.
Seen the first season.
I'll continue anyway. I won't say too much spoilers apart from the fact that he dies. But it's Kane in the show Lucifer. I can't remember which season this is. 3, maybe? Season 3 or 4, something like that. Essentially, Kane comes in, and he's just one of those characters that you kind of like, but at the same time, he's very, like, he just gets in the way. He causes an unneeded and unwanted love triangle between him, Lucifer, and Chloe. And he's played by a very good actor, which, you know, makes it better. But just as a character and as what he does and all that, he's just a fucking, just a cunt, you know. And it sort of builds up and this and that, and gets to a point where he kills off another character, and you know that causes a bit of an uproar to the point where Lucifer's like, "Nah, fuck you, you fucking cunt," and he goes after him in the finale of the season, and it's a fantastic, glorious scene, where they have like a proper fight, and I think it was Kane was trying to go after Chloe, and Lucifer was absolutely not having it, so he appeared. They had a scrap, and and yeah, just when the music plays and Lucifer kicks in, it's majestic, it really is. But yeah, they have that scrap, and Lucifer eventually kills him, and it's just satisfying because it's someone who deserved it for the stuff they did and for what they were trying to do and all that. Yeah, made sense, and I'm kind of glad. So that's my second.
See, well, my third one needs a bit of context so you can understand and some other people can understand why it's emotional. Is from Into the Spider-Verse is the Prowler. He dies in it. So the context is he is Uncle Aaron, who is Aaron Davis, who is related to the main character Miles Morales, who is quite attached to this uncle, who is sort of like not a foreigner, but like somebody that his father and mother don't really want Miles seeing. But he ends up sneaking over to his apartment sometimes, and he gives him some good advice, like for like getting girls or expressing yourself, music or graffiti, and it's really good. And he has some good scenes with him. He's a really likable character. But we find out into the film there's this character known as the Prowler, who is strong, has gadgets and stuff, and from one of the scenes in which Miles, who has his powers now, goes to Aaron, his uncle Aaron's place to hide out for a bit because he knows that's where he can be safe. He sees the Prowler's shadow go past the window of the apartment, and so he hides. And we know Miles has got camouflage powers, so the Prowler's looking around the apartment. He's wary that somebody's been there, and we find out as he takes off his mask that it's his Uncle Aaron. And it just freaks Miles out. He absolutely freaks him out. And we hear from Uncle Aaron, his uncle, saying on the phone to Kingpin, is, "I'll get him, boss. You know I never quit." Which is a callback to Miles throughout the entire film, running away from people and not knowing how to use his powers. So alerting to Miles that he runs away, but his uncle will track him down and kill him until, sort of like whatever. So Miles starts running away. He leaves the building invisible until the Prowler puts back on his mask and he activates thermal, so he sees the heat signature of Miles and he starts chasing him that way. So now Miles is just absolutely fucked in the head. He doesn't know where to go. Blah blah blah. He doesn't know what to do. So they have a fight later on at Aunt May's house, and the Prowler's there and he's fighting with Miles until they're on the rooftop, and he's hanging Miles over the ledge of the house by like his collar until Miles reveals to his uncle that it's him, and he sort of has this moment of like, oh fuck, what am I doing, sort of stuff, because he's been ordered to kill these people and like steal this chip they have, and he's saying just run, you need to run, Miles. And before he can even let him go and shit and like help him, he is shot by Kingpin. Miles takes away his uncle's body to an alley. I think it's an alley. Supposed to like call back to like parents dying in alleys and people dying in alleys. So Miles takes him to an alley, and Aaron's telling him, like, you got to do what's right for you, sort of stuff. He's like giving him confidence. It's like this is sort of like Uncle Ben's death to Miles, basically, but it's Uncle Aaron, and it sort of shows us that if he didn't die there, his uncle could have trained him to be another Prowler, and he may have never been a Spider-Man. And he starts taking like inspiration from his uncle's death in the fact that when the "What's Up Danger" scene comes up, you can hear in the background siren noises, very similar, if not basically the same sample siren noises that are used in the Prowler's theme, showing that he's like learned from his uncle's death and he shouldn't run away anymore. Basically, that's why that character death is really important and really good.
I see.
Also, the Prowler, funny enough, his colours of purple and green are actually the opposite colours of red and blue. So it's sort of contrast between his uncle and looking up to Spider-Man, basically. But aye, that's That's my third.
Wow. My next one is Micah Bell from the Red Dead Redemption 2 game. This is a very long game, and throughout its whole story, you've got like your main group, right? You play as Arthur. You've got what's his name? Fucking hell. John Marston as well, part of the gang. You've got Dutch, the man with the plan, and you got Micah. Micah's one of those ones as well. But out of the whole like group of people who are there, and you know you're doing this and that, Micah's the one who's just always a fucking cunt, pure cunt. Always got something to say, you know, something snarky, something just fucking back chat and all that. You can tell he's just an arsehole. And he doesn't like Arthur, the character you're playing as. So throughout the whole thing, he's saying this and that and whatnot. And it's not until like later in the game that he sort of starts piping up and whatnot a bit more. And there's the whole sort of finale thing and whatnot, and I don't want to say too much in terms of spoilers for anyone who hasn't played it, because as I said, it's a long game. But there comes a certain point. There's a certain there's a couple different like options you can do depending on if you have like high honor or low honor, you know, as to what you've done while you're playing it. But this is one of the ways where Micah dies, and it's right towards the end. Essentially, you're going up this like really snowy mountain place to this like hut in search of Micah, because you know he's a fucking cunt, so you want to kill him. And you get to the top, find him, you have a bit of chat back and forth, and then he pulls the gun out, you sort of hide behind the thing, you know, you have a wee gunfight, and then Dutch appears out the hut, and he's like, that's enough. And there's some more talking going on, and Dutch is like aiming the gun at you, and you're sort of trying to convince Dutch that it's Micah that's the rat. You know, he's the one that you should be killing. He's the rat. Blah blah blah. And eventually, Dutch just turns around, shoots Micah. Oh, it's so satisfying. Such a deserved fucking shot. But after that, you know, he's kind of stumbling a bit, and you get the actual ability to, you know, when you get the, I can't remember what it's called, but you slow down. Yeah, Eagle Eye. You slow down time, and you're able to like pinpoint tons of shots.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to do that on just Micah. So you just leather a shit ton of bullets into him, finish him off. It's perfect. It's perfect. Much deserved. Man, what a cunt. He's written well for that reason, you know, but god damn. Mm-hmm. But I felt you had to mention that one.
Mm-hmm. Well, my last one's also a sad one. Very sad one. Probably the saddest one I have, actually, in my opinion. Is from the Justice League show / Justice League Unlimited, is Ace. So she was a part of the Royal Flush gang, I think it was called, gang or something, but part of like the Royal Flush. So she was the ace of the group. She was, I think, one of the most powerful ones. So she had like hypnotism powers and stuff. And in her episode in Justice League, she is obviously not obviously, but like she is teaming up with Joker for manipulation. We learned in that episode that she was trained in a facility when she was really young. She was abused. She was like forced to do things. It wasn't good. So Joker manipulated her thinking that she'll hypnotize an entire world and everybody will be happy. But she later finds out in the episode that Joker was wearing an anti-hypnotism thing. She got mad and I think invaded his mind state and made him even more insane. So she fucked up the Joker even more. So in the lead up to that episode, we are introduced a flashback episode later on, in which Terry McGinnis, who is the Batman from Batman Beyond, appears in this episode to speak to Amanda Waller, who is the person in charge of Suicide Squad and a lot of government stuff. And we find out from her, because Terry is mad with Bruce, the reason that he's a clone. Terry McGinnis is a clone of Bruce Wayne. And he's like, why am I a clone? What's going on? So he tells this flashback, she tells this flashback, sorry, of why Amanda trusted in having another Batman and why there needed to be another Batman like Bruce, even though she was very much against Batman back in her day. And we go through this sort of like thing where Ace is becoming so powerful that instead of like illusion powers or hypnosis and that, or mindfuckery, she actually has now developed reality warping powers, and she's now a time bomb basically. And what we see in this episode is they have to kill this girl, or as long as she is alive, she will like explode and destroy multiple cities, basically. And we learn this from Amanda Waller, and she's telling this to Batman, and he's like, "Who are you gonna get to go kill this girl?" Basically, we've got this device that can stop it, but it will kill her. And Batman's like, if anybody has to do it, it has to be somebody who understands her, and that because like if one of the points was explained is she can read people's minds as well, being a reality warper, so she can tell your intentions and what's happening. And you just have Batman walking up to this building that she's holed up in the city, and she's on the swing, so he sits on the swing. He's just talking to her like a normal person. Like there's no Batman mode here. He's talking to her like a normal person, and explains to her what's going on and like how she's feeling. And she's like, "I've read your mind. You're not really here to kill me, are you? You're not going to use that thing." And he's like, "No, I never planned to. But I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you and see if there's another way around it." And sort of stuff. And Batman's being really like nice and like he doesn't want this girl to die. He doesn't want anybody to get injured either. And he's trying to find a way around it. Eventually, she's just like, "I can't control this from happening. I can't control, as long as I live, I'm going to explode. I can't stop this. I can't control it." So she just goes out her own way, and she basically ends her own life. It's insinuated that she's ended her own life somehow, and we see Batman walking out of the park with her body in his arms to Amanda Waller, and Amanda just sees that there's more to Batman than just being a crime fighter. He genuinely cares about people. He genuinely cares about their mental well-being or mental health and sort of stuff like that. He doesn't want to kill people. He doesn't have to ever want to kill people. And that's why Ace's death like is so detrimental to like Batman / Bruce Wayne's like story, and why Ace's death is sad, because she's been abused, she's been used, she's been for everything. She's now going to die, and she is soothed. Batman like soothed her. She finally had somebody she could talk to like as a person who cares for her. So she just accepts that she needs to pass away. She knows she's gonna hurt other people, and I think it's just a really sad way to die. And I think it's really important, and it's phenomenally told. And that's why Amanda cloned and made Terry McGinnis, because she feels like there needs to be more people out there who are as caring and well fitted to a role as a superhero as Batman was. That's how she changed her mind, and it's like, that's really important. That's really good. And that's my last example for favourite character deaths.
Yeah, that's a sad one. Well, I guess my last one. It's also another one of those characters that you just sort of fucking hate. That's most of mine. But this one is from Supernatural, and I think it's season 7, if I remember correctly. Dick Roman. you'll be aware of Dick Roman.
Mm.
He is very much a dick, and he's essentially the head Leviathan. He's the main one who sort of controls the lot across the world after they came out, and he's just very much hated as well because so yeah, for anyone who hasn't seen Supernatural, close your ears for a bit or skip ahead. He kills Bobby in what was a very sad whole part. Yeah, it was just, man, oh man, you really wanted him to kick the bucket after that. And that's what that whole season was. I think it was season 7. Was the whole of it was just the Leviathans fighting them, and in the end, they do finally get a god weapon. I think it is weapon that's been touched by God, so that they can actually gank him. And they get into the room. It's Dean and Cass, and they go to they confront him. There's a wee bit of talk, and then I think it's I think Dean has a fake one, so he stabs him in the chest with a fake one, and Dick's like, he thought that was going to work, and he sort of pulls it out and that, and I can't remember what else he says, but then Dean's like, nah, but this will, and then Cass sort of pulls Dick's head back, and Dean gets the real one and just sort of launches it right through his throat.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's quite the death. After that happens, you see the sort of Leviathan mouth. It's like, and he just sort of starts pulsating, you know. Dick's just pulsating, and gets more and more, and they're sort of standing around. They're like, well, what do we do? What do we do? And then he just explodes, and both Dean and Cass are sent to purgatory because they were in the blast radius. And yeah, that's obviously starts the next season. But that death, I feel like, was just, it's one of those ones where he deserved it, very much deserved it, because he was a fucking dick, straight up. And I think I'm pretty sure he was named that just so that he could get as many dick jokes in as possible.
Most likely.
Yeah. I don't think any of these are actually a sad death.
No, you just hate these cunts.
Just hate these cunts. I could think of a
Mine
sad
are all
one.
sad. Mine are all really sad. I don't actually enjoy any of these deaths.
Yeah.
Like, they're all like, they have meaning. You're just like, fucking die, cunt. Proper Scottish way of thinking.
Sad one I can think of is Brad Bellick from Prison Break. I guess like season 3 or 4. They had to fix a pipe or something. I can't remember the scene properly, but he essentially sacrificed himself by going into the sewer to like lift it up. And he's saying to one of the other guys, he's like, no, don't do that. And he's like, nah, you have a son. And it's sad. But well, there's plenty. But we're done with that.
We're done with that, and that moves us on to the final topic.
Aye. Tattoos or piercings you want to get? I suppose I should start since I've currently got tattoos.
Yeah, fire
on. So yeah, my current tattoos that I have 2, and I definitely want to get more. That's for certain. My current tattoos. The first one I got when I turned 18. I was like, yeah, buzzing to get this. And it's like a massive like compilation of Pink Floyd art from like all their albums and stuff like that, and a few bits from the wall and whatnot, like film wise. And yeah, it's just on my right arm at the top. Covers quite a large bit. That was my first one. second tattoo. It's a Queen tattoo. The Pink Floyd and Queen were two bands I grew up with very much. I loved them, listened to them all the time. So yeah, it just sort of meant a lot to me. So I want to represent like my youth.
Yeah.
And the Queen one is just the actual logo that has it has the crown in the middle with the Q, and then it has like the phoenix at the top, the lion, the crab, the fairies, all that stuff, just to represent their represent each member's fucking what's it called, star sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that logo's fucking cool as shit. And Freddie, I'm pretty sure Freddie designed it himself. So it's very nice. Had to get that. That's my two tats that I've currently got.
Okay.
You don't have any, do you?
No, not yet.
Currently.
Sort of planning to win it off until I get a job. Not so that I can afford it, but more so I hope it just doesn't like stop interviews, be like, oh, he's got a tat. No. Because I know that's still like a prejudice that's been about.
As well as placement.
Yeah,
sometimes you can hide it.
Yeah, but the tattoo I'm wanting to get first is when I can't hide, unless I'm wearing gloves.
Ooh.
That I suppose I should say it. That one then. My first example is the Demon Nata tat. Is one a tattoo I'm wanting to get. Is it's gonna be on my left hand wrist. Left hand specifically because it's my writing hand, or the one I choose to write with, and it's from a book. It's a symbol that's used on the cover of the book, and it's all black, and it's of a wolf in the middle, joined by some nice sort of patterns that go around it. With on either side of the wolf's head is a chest piece of a pawn, because the books are heavily to do with wolves and chess, mostly magic, but like those two things are things I enjoy most from it. So I really want to like show my love of those books and to have some sort of like wolf tattoo. So I might as well have it be my first one. It's a nice wee small one on my wrist.
Very nice.
I heard it's quite painful, so a bit of a brave decision going for my first tat being on the wrist. So
yeah,
we'll see.
It'll turn out good once you get it. It's a shame we can't with the podcast being audio, you can't exactly show images of the tats and it.
I'll just
try and describe it.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I'll continue with what I've got planned. So to continue on those two tats I currently have, my whole right arm. Did I mention the placement of that fucking Queen one?
Would have been on. It was your.
It's on my right arm as well. It's like right below. Yeah. But, so that whole right arm, I've got the plan of, just getting tons of bands and artists that I like really took on to. I listen to the most, that I really connect with, and just sort of do it in a way where the top half of my arm is like the older stuff, or the stuff that I listened to when I was younger, all the way to right down to my wrist, which is the more newer stuff that I've grown to like being, I've grown to listen to and love. Apart from for example, Bowie's one of the ones I've got planned, which is going to be at the wrist. And for anyone who's aware of his last album that he came out with, Black Star, the cover art for that has the actual star, and then below that it has like stars, but they're sort of different cutouts of parts of the stars, and it's meant to spell out Bowie.
Oh yeah.
So my idea was getting those stars like wrapped around my wrist, and there's a couple others that I've got planned as part of that sleeve. Rolling Stones, Trivium, Avenged Sevenfold, fucking Deadmau5, Daft Punk. There's the Thundercat. There's a shit ton. There's some designs that I've got in my phone. I've got like a wee folder in my camera roll, which is just the designs of some of the stuff that I'd want. And then there's a lot of other ones I haven't quite figured out yet. But yeah, once I get the main ones done, then I'll start looking at the spacing and what else I can get. But that's the main plan for that whole arm. It'll take a while. But I feel like I've gotten the two biggest ones. There's still two other big ones to get. But
well, the one I want next, well not next, but the one I have on my list next would be a Transformers tattoo, and it's it was the first one I ever wanted, and it's the basic premise of it is the very old, like the very original, like Autobot and Decepticon symbols, and it's like really grainy, like red, and followed into like greyish blue color gradient, and then same with like the purple into grey gradient as well. So basically, those are the sort of colours you're going to be used for the symbols. And what the plan is to have the left side of the tattoo be half of the Autobot symbol, and the right side be the other half of a Decepticon symbol in the original 80s Generation 1 colours. And then below it, will be in quotations in some sort of font, maybe the Transformers font. One shall stand and one shall fall. It might be the other way around, one shall fall and one shall stand, but the basic premise of that quote means like in this death battle, one of us will be standing and one of us will be dead, basically, and I really like that quote from the movie. And I really want that on my I think I'd like it on my right shoulder, sort of shoulder area, sort of like bicep area. That's where I want it. It's the first tattoo I ever thought of having. Just trying to get like how it to look size wise down. So I think that'd be the most important tattoo I'd want. My favourite movie. The quote is, at least. My favourite franchises.
You were quite close to getting a tattoo when you were younger as well, weren't you? Almost got it as a gift.
No, actually. I was trying to convince people for a long time. My family, if I could get one or not.
Misremembering.
But what you're probably misremembering is the fact that my mom offered to just get me the tattoo for my 21st.
Ah, right.
And that's the reason I'm not getting it, is because I want to get a job. And I don't want to detriment it. It's the Demonata one, because it'd probably be around 50 or 60 quid to get it done, which is not too bad for a tattoo. But the Transformers tattoo is probably the most important one I'd want to get, especially in terms of colours. I really like the gradient of the original Transformers colours. Sick. Sick as fuck.
That reminds me, yeah.
Oh, actually, I forgot. I forgot a bit of a design to it. Is on each side. So on the Autobot side, where it's a red Autobot symbol, I'll have splashes of like paint, sort of splashes of paint behind the symbol being blue, to be finish off the color palette of the Autobots. And on the same side of the Decepticons, it'll be green. I knew I was forgetting something with that tattoo. So on each side, it'll be like paint blots, like something's been spilled on each side of it, finishing off the color palette of like, because Autobots is red and blue, and Decepticons is green and purple. But yeah, that's the design. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Fucking as soon as you get that, you're just gonna be like, oh, look at the colours, look at the colours.
Oh, look at the colours. Look at them colours. It's like paint. Look at the colours.
For everyone listening, that's an inside joke.
Yes.
Someone we know. But I forgot my whole right arm that was on about. That's all black and white. Just black, white, grey, and all that. It's just no colours planned for that. In terms of other ones that I've got planned, nothing too much. There's a couple ideas I've been thinking about, such as a supernatural tattoo. And this one is basically just it's the what's it called? It's to stop prevent demon possession. One of those like symbols, and both Sam and Dean throughout the show got it tattooed like on their chest. I think they've got it on the left side. There's the left pec just above. They've got that tattooed, and for ages I've kind of been tempted. Should I get that? Should I get that? It's always been tempting, and there might come a day that I might just go for it. But
you get somebody else to get another one, so you can be Sam and Dean.
Aye,
matching tats.
There's a few people that I've spoken to, and they've also been tempted. So I'm like, ooh, maybe. I just love the show so much.
Yeah.
It would be good. It would be sick.
So, I suppose if
yeah,
I suppose if you're gonna talk about how you get that tattoo and how it protects you from demon possession, I suppose I should switch up my list example to a neck tattoo that sort of does the reverse of what yours does, in which it's a neck tattoo, and I've always been iffy about neck tattoos. I never really like look at them, but this one sort of like I really want because I think it looks really cool. It's a berserk neck tattoo, and it's of the brand of the demons. And what it does basically, if you enter a certain demon realm in the berserk universe, you are branded like cattle, basically. So it sort of like sheds light on you to other demons where you might be, and like they can sense you and stuff, and they'll come and kill you. So the main character Guts is branded with this on his neck, and it'll just sometimes bleed out of nowhere. And he's basically branded for life, and he's forever going to be chased by demons that know where he's going to be, and they chase him. That's why I thought I'd bring it up, because it's sort of like an opposite to the chest hat, in which well, it's not even a tat because it's a branding, but it will become a tat if it's on my neck. And I really want to get on my neck. It sort of looks like a Bluetooth symbol in a way, but not entirely. Sort of like similar shape. But I'm going to have it tattooed in the shape of it, but I'm going to have it bleeding as well.
Yeah.
So it's going to look like its blood's pouring down it. Don't know if it'll have it in black or like a really, really dark red. I think it'd be really cool.
Just reminded me of a disgusting one I seen, and it was the mark of Cain. I think I might seen on Reddit. It was some guy got that, but he like actually carved it like into his fucking arm. It was like,
damn, bro.
He proper went for the scarring.
Damn, bro.
But I suppose I'll mention my last idea for a tat. I don't actually have any piercings that I've got planned. Don't currently have piercings now. No, I'm not particularly one for any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Some people, I think it looks good on, it suits them, but I don't feel like I would. If there was any places that would get one.
Get glasses piercing.
Glasses piercing.
Accept them for glasses.
But my last one that I've kind of thought about is it's a finger tattoo actually, and I don't actually have any designs or what I would get. There was one I slightly thought maybe, and it was the actual King Cobalt logo. But I don't know. I just like the actual placement of it would probably be in the inside of the finger. So whether it could be the index finger or the middle finger, I don't even know which hand. But I don't know. I really like the look of one of those types of tats.
Yeah.
So I'd have to have a think. Maybe if something comes along in the future that means something as well.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I might end up getting something like that, but we'll see. Time will tell.
It's funny you say finger tattoos because...
But that's me.
Yeah. It's funny you say finger tattoos because just thinking about my last tattoo here being the Lantern Corpse tat it's very like subjective of what I want it to be. I know I want it to be the Lantern Corps symbols, but I don't know which ones I want, or if I want them all, and I don't know if I want it on my chest or I want it on my fingers. So, one of the ideas I had was for a chest, which I think could be cool, but maybe it wouldn't be the best because I've got a really hairy chest that obscures my skin. So maybe a chest tattoo isn't the best idea. So I think, but what would be if I shaved? You would see it is have the Green Lantern symbol, the will be the start of it at my heart, tattooed all over my heart, and it will link to the other symbols, like with like brands of energy that slowly like changes the gradient of the color to the color that's connecting to. And maybe have like each symbol, like the last symbol farthest away from my heart being the one that I least link with, or something like that. So it would have some sort of symbolism. But I think I would probably I want finger tattoos. I think finger tattoos sort of look cool. So maybe I'll get like so each like symbol like tattooed onto my fingers, like as if I've got rings on my fingers, like the lantern rings. So like I'd have like, but the only problem with that is I wouldn't be able to do all 10 fingers. I would like to do 8 fingers, but there's 9 corpse. So unless I do like I suppose I can do 8 being from green to white, because white still counts as like all the colours, so it's its own thing. And then maybe have like on the palm or the back of my hand the death symbol. Not death symbol, but the black lanterns or something. Because I still want to get that tied, or have it like somewhere. Maybe on the palm of my hand. Just have it on the palm. You can't see it unless I'm like showing you my palm. Because otherwise, it's just like it's not symmetrical. I can't just have 9 fingers and have one not tattooed. So like, I wouldn't be getting my thumbs tattooed. Like no. So like, I would have like on my index for my left hand, it'd be like will, and then avarice, and then love, and all that sort of stuff. And I think that'd look really cool. Always wanted to get like, I always liked the idea of having symbol tattoos. Like I had an idea for one before where it's a massive Batman symbol, and inside the Batman symbol is a bunch of smaller like other symbols for superheroes and shit. But I was like, nah, it'd be too much detail. Take a long time. I really like to do finger tattoos for Green Lantern. I think that would look really nice.
Alright, cool.
Because my brother Ken's got a really nice hand tattoo and finger tattoos as well. I really like his one. It's a wolf. But yeah, I suppose that wraps me up, or wraps up the topic, and wraps up the podcast.
It does. Well, we thank you again for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yes.
We'll be back for episode 20, which, should be a special one.
Should be a special one. It'll be sometime next week. Can't guarantee which day, but sometime next week.
Sort it out.
But alas, thank you for listening or watching. If you're watching a still image on YouTube, that's a thing. Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.